Okay, so today we're going to be looking at a pretty sensitive topic. I don't even know if YouTube's going to allow me to post this video, honestly, because of the subject matter of it. But it's important that people see this and they understand what's going on in other parts of the world and what these people from these other parts of the world are trying to bring into our communities, right? With all these quote unquote refugees, right? Going into Europe, into the UK, into Spain. Spain just had a huge influx of refugees, right? And obviously here in America too, we're having a lot of these people come over. It's important that we know what they're bringing with them. Okay. Normally, I would say if you're liberal, you might want to click off this video because it might cause you to cry and you have to go change your panties. But it's actually very important that you watch this video because this is what you're bringing here when you vote, the way you vote. So let's get started.
The term quite literally translates to boy play or playing with boys. It is a practice as old as time. But the changing political landscape of Afghanistan in the past few decades did not reduce the so-called elitist tradition. On the contrary, Bacha Bazi has been on the rise. The most horrifying part about this tradition isn't even the dancing. It's what happens after. These boys are taken to hotels or rooms where they're sexually abused and even raped. But where did this practice even begin? Why does it still exist? And why is it so normalized?
I was driving out on this op, I guess, from Kabul to Jalalabad. And when I first got to Afghanistan, I used to see these truck drivers, and I thought, my dad was a truck driver. It's really cool these truck drivers take their sons out with them on the road. That's such a really cool cultural thing. And my interpreter turned to me, he's like, those aren't their kids, dude. That's how fucking horrible it is.
It's so horrible that they're on display.
Yes.
They're on parade, even,
Yeah.
you were saying. The guys would parade around their harem.
Kandahar and different areas, they'll have parades and they're on displays to, this is my harem, and they're proud of it. And that was one of the most disturbing things that we would talk about, specifically between like the departments, between Department of State, CIA, and the military. Is like when you're out with the guys from a tactical and combat role, you see them and you interact with the way they are from a tactical level every day. And you'd bring this up to management, and they would say, oh, that doesn't, what do you mean? That doesn't happen. That doesn't happen. Or they pretend it doesn't happen. But if you were on the ground in Afghanistan during the times I was there, honestly, from 2001, we'll say, to the time that we pulled out, everybody uniformly would agree with what I'm saying.
All right, so I'm not going to do much pausing during this video because obviously it's a subject that I don't have any experience with. So I'm just going to let the people who have been there and who have seen it do most of the talking. But basically, you can put two and two together. It's called Bacha Bazi. It's very popular in the Muslim community, and it's what they do to these little boys against their will. I got to be careful what I say because of YouTube. Man Love Thursday is another name that it goes by. Usually that's more about the adult men doing it with each other. But yeah, these little boys are taken advantage of, let's say. And this culture, this is something that they want to bring into our communities, right? The thing about Islam, the Muslims, they don't adapt to other people's culture. It's part of their religion to force other cultures to adapt to them. All right. So when when they're going into the UK, when they're going into Europe, when they're coming into the US, they're not coming here to assimilate to our culture. They're coming here to bring their culture over here. So let's go ahead and watch some more.
If you spent some time in Afghanistan, you knew that was happening.
Jesus. Afghanistan is so that you can't even comprehend it until you're there. Once you're there and you see it and you understand it, you become so cynical. You're almost like, this culture is like unfixable. Most people just don't know that a place like that exists. That's so down to its core. We was talking about how these guys have these boys, they have their harem.
The number 9 boy.
What's that?
That's what the Egyptian special forces called him, the number 9 boy. He's the boy that gets... Every Afghanistan village had what do they call it? The chogi boy. Basically the 12-year-old that gets raped.
You know what Bacha Bazi is?
I don't.
It's that horrible practice of passing a young boy around to his uncles and cousins or whatever to be brutally sexually exploited. Not only do we not stop it, the Obama administration penalized SF guys who stopped that from happening. They didn't kill, they just tuned up some corrupt shitbag police commander who was raping his T-boy. They caught him in the act and they beat him up and they court-martialed him for it. If we had done in 2002 and we said, no more Bacha Bazi, we don't care who you are, if you're a warlord or if you're the junior man, no more. We see you doing it. It's firing squad the next day. Every woman in Afghanistan, even the mothers of every Taliban, would have been on our side. Why? Because no woman wants that for their child.
The boys are made to dress in women's clothes, complete with added padding to their chests to simulate a bust. They wear makeup and dance for viewers. Influential figures like governors, police chiefs, and military commanders make up a lot of the people buying these children. And keeping the practice of Bacha Bazi is a display of wealth and considered a high status symbol.
This is the most disturbing documentary that I have seen in a while. In this documentary, an Afghan journalist unravels the illegal practice of Bacha Bazi in Afghanistan. And for those of you who do not know what Bacha Bazi is, this is an ancient practice in which boys as young as 10, 11 and 12 years are sold to wealthy merchants, warlords and Afghan military commanders. And it is widely acknowledged that these children are then as well. The most repulsive part about this documentary is that it shows how people turn a blind eye towards this socially accepted evil. It starts off with the recruitment of an 11-year-old boy who is then taught to dance and later sold to a wealthy merchant. The journalist was able to save that boy, however, thousands of children are still stuck in this vicious exploitative ring. Let me know, what do you think of this documentary?
In strict societies where women are veiled and hidden, these men use boys as a replacement. Have you heard of the dancing boys of Afghanistan? It's called Bacha Bazi, and it's one of the most disturbing traditions still happening today. Bacha Bazi literally means boy play. It involves boys usually between the age of 10 and 18, often from poor or orphaned backgrounds.
نمودار و پدرش میگیم که ما این شاگرد تربیت میکنیم. موضوع اجازه میدید؟ بله ها. چی وعده چیزی وعده میکنید؟ ایسا میتیم. یعنی شما اکثرا بچه‌ای رو میرین که وضع زندگیش هم خوب نیست، غریب است. غریب است دیگه، این ناتوانی نیست.
They are dressed as women, makeup applied, bells tied to their ankles, and forced to dance for powerful men, many of whom are married with children. But behind the music and smiles, there's abuse, trafficking, and slavery. These children are exploited and then discarded when they grow older, often by age 18 when they're considered men. Most end up homeless, traumatized, or forced into sex work just to survive. Here's another bitter truth. Bacha Bazi is illegal, but the law is rarely enforced. Police and local officials often complicit, turning a blind eye.
Officer Khan was in the audience. And so too was the police department's chief investigator, Jabbar Khan.
The Taliban officially banned Bacha Bazi, calling it un-Islamic. Owning a dancing boy became a status symbol, a twisted badge of prestige that rose when the warlords regained control after the fall of the Taliban. The practice continues openly, protected by corruption, power, and silence. And speaking about it is taboo. And the men, the predators who participate, face no social stigma, show no shame, and even brag about it. For the boys, the result is always the same. Deep shame, lost childhoods, futures cut short, sometimes murder.
15-year-old Hafiz was one of the most sought-after dancing boys in the region. When Qureshi returned to Afghanistan over a year later, he tried to find Hafiz again, only to be told the boy had been murdered.
And in some cases, the boys grow up to become abusers themselves.
Imam said that when he turns 18, he plans to become master of his own stable of dancing boys.
Similar cases have been documented in parts of Pakistan too. These boys are victims of a system that steals their childhoods and normalizes abuse behind closed doors. Talk about it, because silence lets it continue, and awareness is the first step toward ending it.
Yeah, definitely. Basically, the reason why I'm making this video, it's important that we get this info out there, let people know what's going on. And again, like I keep saying, make sure you vote accordingly.
Dancing boys of Afghanistan. Go back up again, show what's going on. These guys are throwing money at this dancing boy. Back that up, Jamie?
Yeah, it was. I just clicked somewhere random, kind of trying to get back to it.
Oh. What the fuck, man?
Yes. So
those are like little boys, and they were dancing like strippers, and these guys are throwing dollars at them.
Yes. Yep.
Oh my God, this is so crazy.
And they're younger, so they go much younger. This is the thing that people didn't want to talk about in Afghanistan that we talked about regularly, which was these are very, what we feel are distinctly wrong. These are very wrong things from a American support, tactical and strategic intervention. Like, we should not encourage this whatsoever.
We call them chai boys. And how men are for pleasure and only women are for reproduction. Women don't really have a purpose. It's just to reproduce. But when you start to see the little boys with the...
Again, in that culture, women don't have a purpose. The funny thing is that in the UK, in other Europe, in Spain, like I said, Spain just had that invasion of over 1,000 immigrants come up to their shore and invade their country. And guess who were standing out there cheering them on? Women. Right? It just shows you the brainwashing of the liberal woman. He just said women don't have a purpose in their culture. And women are with open arms asking these people to come into their country. I mean, make it make sense, right?
The older men and stuff that they do. Then there's this thing that in Afghanistan, it was like Man Love Thursday. And I accidentally walked in a tent. I thought it was like the snack tent where we had like our Gatorade and chips and stuff. I walked into the wrong tent, and I seen about 20 plus dudes, like they weren't wrestling.
Hold up, maybe I'm not following you here.
Man Love Thursday.
I want to make sure I'm getting this correct, because you will damn near be beheaded. Like, they don't play homosexuality, transsexuality, none of that over there.
Yeah. There was a mission out in Afghanistan. We're in a tree line, and stuff went down. We're plucking some dudes off. Pause. We're taking down some enemy, coming out the tree line, butt naked. And in the tree line, we were pulling dudes. We had to pull guys out of each other. And they had makeshift condoms on of like saran wrap and a bow tie of like yarn at the base of it. And we had to pull some dudes apart out of each other.
Hold on.
Yeah.
You saw this with your own eyes?
Touch the bodies.
So you're telling me you guys killed them. So what do you have? 33 confirmed kills?
On that deployment, yeah.
No. What's your total confirmed? I know. You will never know it because you were a machine gunners.
Yeah.
But what is your confirmed kill?
In all of my whole career, I have no idea. Yeah. I killed more people on my first deployment.
Record?
Their intellect, I think, was a little off to me. you know, their belief system, and just they knew one thing, and it was just basically how to fight or how to survive, you know. And even talking to we worked with some Afghan guys over there, and it was just their culture was far different. Of men were for pleasure and women for reproduction. So it was.
Where'd we hear that one? Yeah, you'll remember it later. Someone else said that. Yeah.
Yeah, it's a weird culture, you know, and you see weird stuff based around what I just said of men being for pleasure, and yeah, it's just weird.
Yeah, I heard the word boys where you said
boys. Men. There you go, boys. Yeah, T-boys or chai boys, whatever we call them. Yeah.
Now you got it, Leslie. Now it came upstairs. Yeah, there's.
I've walked into a room full of it and did a mission where literally like guys were doing their thing in the tree line, and we had to go in there and take care of that. It was
for them. Now they don't talk about it, and I'm not saying it's like everyone, by the way. I'm saying like it's at least relevant enough culturally where it's somewhat normalized and not talked about. It's very strange.
Is it similar in Kuwait as Afghanistan, or do they vary? Iraq is different?
Yeah, they're all a little bit different. I mean, the Afghanis, we had to have, depending on where we were in their barracks living situation, like you had to put really hard restrictions, like, you know, no butt fucking guys for the majority of this, because this is a health issue. We weren't like, it's not like we were putting Bibles on their beds or something. Right. We're just saying, hey, this is really unhealthy. You guys are going to spread a bunch of different diseases to one another. And like, we've got a mission to accomplish here. And every SF guy, every guy that's
imagine that. Imagine being in the military in special forces or whatever, and you have this very serious job to do, and you have to go over to these other guys and be like, hey, no butt fucking. Like don't do that. I just can't.
It's like been in Afghanistan knows what Man Love Thursday is, and it's kind of a thing that they do. The more disturbing factor is it's socially indoctrinated in the children, like the sexual exploitation of children. So it starts early and then it moves into the adulthood. Bacha Bazi is a real thing, and you know, it's dressing boys to look like girls, and they have some Afghanis. When I say some, I don't know how pervasive it is, but it's a big percentage. And the adult male stuff, that's like one subsegment of their culture, but it's the sexual exploitation of children, that when you find that out, that's when things really turn for you psychologically. You're like, this place is really fucked.
All right, so that's all I got for you today. As always, head down to the comment section, leave your thoughts and opinions on this, and thank you for watching.